I thank you for checking out my video, and we're in Detroit. It's early morning, and this is Grand River. Grand River is one of the main streets in Detroit. And if you're familiar with Detroit, I'm by Southfield and Grand River. And this road right here is going to take you right to downtown Detroit. I got some stuff to do down there, so I'm going to take you on a little ride. And like I said, it's pretty early, so there's not going to be a lot of people like out on the street, but you'll be able to see some things. And if you stay till the end of the video, you'll see downtown Detroit. So let's see what we find. It's Saturday morning. Got a lot of different places around here. You know, this is they got some nice homes in this part of Detroit. But this is going to be kind of a longer video, so you'll be able to see a lot. Sometimes I like doing these early morning videos because there's not a lot of traffic. A lot of random places out here, Coney Islands, you know, dry cleaners, things like that. A lot of places buy clothes, food, Family Dollar. Check cashing. A lot of liquor stores. Liquor stores all over. Greenfield. That big building, Mammoth. It's not like it was years ago. You know, there used to be a lot of people that used to shop right there. And on the left you can see Foreman Mills is there right now. A couple little places around here still here, but you know, back in the day, you know, I heard that Mammoth was, you know, a pretty big place. A lot of people used to come here. But you know, one of the sad things about the city is a lot of people have left. So, you know, you see a lot of buildings like that here in Detroit, and they're doing their best to try to tear them down. And you know, it's working though, little by little, you know. There used to actually be a hole in this building on the right. And I was gonna do a video exploring the inside of the building, but you know, you can't get you gotta be safe, you know what I mean? It would be really interesting to see what it would be like in there after years. But like I was saying before, you know, you see a lot of those buildings in Detroit, and whenever I see buildings like that, I kind of go back in time a little bit in my mind and try to think, you know, what it was like during those times in these areas. You know, you get, you know, most of these buildings have businesses in them, but some, like on the right, you know, it's got some decent work to it. You wonder what those buildings were. Nice. 59 degrees, and that's pretty good for the morning. For here, it's I've seen it below zero, so you know, it gets cold here. A lot of Coney Islands. Detroit has a lot of Coney Islands. That's one thing that a lot of people tell me, that when they're from out of town, they notice a lot of Coney Islands in Detroit. A lot of road construction too. We need it. Try to move the camera a little bit. Coming up on Schaefer, if you're familiar with Detroit. Yeah, I think that's another Coney Island. It feels like every intersection. See, that guy just blew right through that light right there. I've already seen 2 or 3 people go through the light. You gotta always be careful. But anyways, yeah, it feels like every single intersection in Detroit has a Coney Island in it, and on it, I mean. But most of them are good. I can't really think of a bad one. And you got you know, a lot of good restaurants. Detroit's building a lot of a lot of restaurants, you know, all over the city. Not too much around here in this area, but you know, more downtown. You'll see a couple of them up here. But like I was saying before, you know, with the Coney Islands, you know, we're very, very known for that. What is this one? Galaxy Coney Island. Some nice people though. '96. Like right behind me, 2 lanes over is a cop. I can see he's kind of looking at me at what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit, see what happens. But this is 96 right here. This goes east to west. I don't think that cop's gonna pull me over, but we'll play it safe for a minute, try to do some safe driving. I don't really like the police seeing me do these videos because it's like distracted driving and all that. But give it a minute. I want this light to turn, so I'm gonna see if this cop's gonna keep going. I'll go a little slow. But yeah, you gotta be careful though, driving, you know, like that, you know, right before I stopped, there was that guy that drove through that light. And, you know, dangerous driving all over, you just gotta be careful. You'll see that cop on the left. I'll get over in another lane in about a couple seconds. I'll keep going. But you know, Detroit police are they're doing their job, and there is a lot of crime in the city. And I got respect for the police, you know, I really do. You know, you hear about injustice, you know, and I hear it. But overall, you know, the police, they're pretty good in the city of Detroit. You know, and I hope I don't hear, you know, things in the comments like the police are this, the police are that. You know, you gotta look at the whole picture of all the police in the United States. In cities like this and other cities, they gotta go through a lot. You know, and that's just my opinion on it. But anyways, I feel safer now that I know I'm not gonna get pulled over, so we'll keep driving. But yeah, that's my opinion, you know, like, you know, I know the police, you know, there are bad cases, but overall, they're doing their job, and they got a job to do, and they got a place to report to, like most of us. And you know, in my interactions with police, I've had pretty good interactions. So anyways, I think this is Wyoming coming up here. This is probably going to be a 20-minute video, but you're going to like it towards the end. You're going to see the downtown area. That cop's way up there now. Never had a problem with the Detroit police. Leonard Detroit. See, that big building looks pretty cool. Leonard Detroit Storage Company. Huh. You're not gonna see anything if I'm behind this semi truck. Yeah, a lot of abandoned buildings, but a lot of these buildings, looking at them, you know, they can still be saved. You know, a lot of these buildings can be saved still. It's just finding the people to invest in them and fix them up. That's the thing. 96. Yeah, I'm very happy I didn't get pulled over. I think in Michigan, July 1st, you can get pulled over if you're on your cell phone, or just, they call it distracted driving. You know, and I mean, it's a good thing. You shouldn't really be on your cell phone. Sometimes I drive a big pickup truck and I can see in the inside of what people are doing. I swear 50% of the people are on their cell phones while they're driving, it feels like. The cop's getting some McDonald's. So, you know, I'm guilty of it very, very rarely. You know, I'm pretty good with the cell phone. But, you know, I still have to stop myself once in a while. Yeah, it's cops getting McDonald's. I think the police probably eat for free. This right here, like where you see that bus is going, that's Livernois right there. You know, going to, it's, I think it's east-west. I don't know, the streets kind of run, some of them run pretty weird in Detroit, but if you look at Detroit like a map on the aerial view, you know, a lot of the streets, the big streets lead right in Detroit. It's whoever mapped out Detroit did a good job, you know? There's a lot of roads, like, for example, if the freeways 75, 94, if they get jammed, a lot of these major roads can lead you right into downtown. So if you're stuck on the freeway and you got to get off, there's always a way, a pretty good way to get into downtown. We're coming up on Joy Road, right up here. By Joy 96, if you're familiar with Detroit. But you can get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. On the left, you can't really see, but there's a building we just passed. Back in the 70s and 80s, there used to be a lot of famous rock bands that used to play music in there. They got it all boarded up now. I think a band in Detroit, or one of those YouTube channels, did a video on the inside of that building. Maybe if I can find it, if I can remember, I'll put a link below just to kind of help them out, drive traffic to the video. But it's really beautiful on the inside, and a lot of history in Detroit. A lot of music still to this day, and a lot of musicians have been all over Detroit, even, you know, away from the downtown area, down in parts like this, playing music back in the 70s and 80s. You know, a lot of people used to live around here. You can kind of see downtown a little bit if you look in the video. I know I can see the Renaissance Center, but there was a lot of fog earlier this morning. Otherwise, you could see all of downtown pretty much from here. But like you can see on the right, you know, a lot of people used to work at these buildings, or in these buildings. Now they're all gone. A lot of liquor stores by West Grand Boulevard. See Apollo, Coney Island? A lot of Coney Islands. If you see that green light on top flashing, that's just like a project green light thing that the city does. You know, if you it shows, like, I've heard good and bad about it, but pretty much if you're in that area of that green light, it's being monitored by the Detroit Police Department. So if something happens, God forbid, you can go to one of those green lights, like there's one at the mobile gas station right up here on the left. You can go to one of those green lights and it's like a safe zone. But I've heard that it does work, I've heard it doesn't work. You can kind of see it, like on the left, the mobile. But, you know, the city does what it can. You know, from what I see, the way the world and the United States is looking, you know, every major city in the United States, in my opinion, is getting pretty rough. I even think sometimes what it'd be like to just live out in the country. But I've been in the city area pretty much all of my adult life, all my life. So for me to go to the country would be a big change. But you never know what'll happen in a couple years. Anyways, you can start to see more and more of downtown. I think I might have to take a detour up here into the neighborhood a little bit. Trying to look ahead and see what this road construction's doing. So you'll be able to see a little bit of what the neighborhood looks like, and then we'll get back on Grand River. A lot of road construction everywhere. This is going to be an interesting little detour. Road closed, so we'll take a left. Go right with that Explorer or whatever's. Okay. Foggy morning. We'll just make a right at this stop sign. Not too much going on around here. Linwood. These people are driving terrible. From Back to the Future, but it's not. Kinda in the back. Yeah, but you can look at the roads. So you know, we need them to be fixed. So whenever I see the road construction, you know, I do complain right in the beginning. But then if you can see, look at the roads on the, you know, that I'm driving on. So all this needs to be fixed. It's kind of you complain about the construction, but then you see how necessary that it is, because these roads are pretty rough. That's probably one of the worst things about Michigan. If you talk to anybody from around here, they all say the same thing about the roads, you know, and there's good and bad everywhere, and that's one of the bad things, unfortunately. It's funny too, because we're like this big car city, and we are, you know, Ford, GM, Chrysler, all these places, you know, this is a big car city, you know, yet we got the worst roads in the nation. You know, we always say that to ourselves. It's never gonna change. It never is. It's just something you gotta accept. You get a lot of graffiti around here. They call this like the Grand River Creative Corridor, but they once in a while they'll do an event around here, and it's pretty nice. You know, more up ahead. A lot of art in Detroit. A lot of art, a lot of art, a lot of fashion, a lot of music, a lot of rap in Detroit starting to take off now. You know, a lot of different rappers, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see Detroit get on the map, you know, and in every way, because there's a lot of good talent here. It's just for some reason it feels hard to get Detroit talent out in the mainstream, whereas in some places it's a lot easier. Places like Atlanta, Miami, places like that, you know. Had to adjust my camera a little bit, but there it is, downtown. On the right is Motor City Casino. One of 3 casinos here. Just crossed Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. But yeah, they just opened up Book Tower. You know, the big building that you're gonna see up ahead. They got a lot of nice things in Detroit. Downtown, beautiful architecture. If you see that crane, they're building the Hudson building. That's gonna be a big building. This is actually a nice view. I'm looking at it through the camera as I'm driving. But yeah, this is downtown right here. It actually looks really, really nice. So if you just stayed with me throughout the entire video, this is your reward. You get a nice view of downtown Detroit. That big building you see up ahead is Book Tower. What are they doing up there? It looks like they're doing a walk or something. I hope it's not blocked off. I don't think it is. But anyways, they're doing something down there. Adjust the camera a little bit, so you can see, and this is 75 in Grand River. I said the video would be 20 minutes too, and it's like 20 minutes. But I was just at MGM last night. That's another casino down here. That's more of a luxury casino. That's a pretty nice spot, and you got Greektown right up here. You won't be able to see it in the video, but it's right in downtown. We got 3 casinos down here, and they each have they're each unique. You know, I go to all 3. I don't really game that much. You know, once in a while I'll throw 20 on a slot, but I'm more there for the food and for the drinks and for the people watching. And I like all three of them for different reasons. You know, if you want to know anything about Detroit or the casinos, just put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. Damn. Asphalt. That's nasty stuff. I'm gonna end this video in about a minute, but if you're interested in more Detroit videos, I got a lot more on my page. Make a left? I don't think I was supposed to. Oh yeah, who cares? I don't think I was supposed to make a left right there, or allowed to, but there's not a lot of people out. But anyways, I have a lot more Detroit videos. Feel free to check them out, and other Michigan videos. And 19 subscribers away from 1,000, I believe. So if you like these type of videos, please subscribe. You can be part of the first 1,000. I plan on doing a lot more videos in the upcoming weeks, months, years, all over. I'm looking at doing an East Coast drive too, so that'll be very interesting. And thank you for checking out my video, and please at least give me a like, you know, it helps with the algorithm. And take care.